Modular or flip front helmets, love them or loathe them, there's no denying just how practical they can be. I'm still a little bit on the fence with them, but this particular helmet from AGV caught my eye for a number of reasons, and we'll go through those in this video. This looks most like a traditional helmet of all the flip front helmets that I've seen, and the big thing about this helmet is its construction. It is 100% carbon fiber. That is the shell and the chin bar, which means that this is, at the time that I'm making this video, of course, the lightest flip front or modular helmet available on the market. But is it any good? Well, the construction of this helmet is exactly the same as AGV's Pista GPR, which is the helmet that is worn by MotoGP riders. So there's no questioning the strength and the quality of the protection provided by this helmet. Along with that carbon fiber construction, there is 5 different densities in the EPS liner inside the helmet, again to add to that higher level of protection. It comes in 3 shell sizes and 10 different colorways, so plenty of choice there. And there's a few items which I'll go through which I really like about this helmet. First of all is the weight. It is an incredibly light helmet, particularly for a modular helmet, and it's very noticeable on the bike. Very comfortable to wear. If you're doing any great distance on touring, this would be a perfect helmet for that. One of the claims that AGV make is that the wind tunnel shaping of this helmet aim to make this helmet effectively weightless at a speed of 80 miles an hour. So when you're traveling at 80 miles an hour, there's just enough lift in this helmet to be able to keep it stable, but also make it feel effectively weightless. Now, does that work in practice? It's hard to tell, but I have to say it is very light. A couple of other bits of details that I like is carried over from some of the other AGV models, particularly the Pista, is the release here, the push button release at the front. Takes a little bit of a while to getting used to it if you're used to pulling up a tab here, but it does make for a very clean finish. Not only is that a nice easy way to release it, it does also have a lock function when it's slightly open, so you can just pop that up a section. Gives you a crack in there to get some air through, but if you pick up speed, you're not going to risk that visor coming up because it is locked in place. I found ventilation to be really good on this helmet. You have an opening on the chin here, you've got a 2-stage opening in the top, which is really good at getting the airflow in. It's nice to see that it comes with a breath guard as standard. Obviously that's removable, but it scores well for me on ventilation. One of the other things that I really liked about this helmet was the field of vision. It comes with a Pinlock 120 insert in the box to go on the visor, but this helmet offers 190 degrees of vision, and that is pretty much the same as you would get from your standard view from your eyes. So no problems with that, no interference, shoulder checks are good, and I found this really comfortable to wear in terms of the vision that I had. Of course, this helmet comes complete with a drop down visor, nice easy action from the lever on the side, no problems to find that, easy to get to, and it drops down a long way. There's quite a lot of coverage in here, and I really like that, really clear vision through that, and obviously that visor will still be usable when the helmet is in its upright or flipped position. In terms of lining, well, I found this incredibly comfortable. It is removable, and what else is neat about this is it is reversible. So you have one layer which is a warmer side, and then if you take it out you can swap it over fairly easily, and the other side is a much cooler fabric which works well when the temperatures rise. There is space for comms units to go in the side, so no problems fitting those, and a good old traditional double D-ring fastener finishes off what is a really nice, plush, comfortable interior. When riding in it, I found it to be really comfortable. I found it very easy to operate all of the parts, opening and closing the chin guard, again really easy, closes with a nice positive click, and all the shut lines, because it's all molded in carbon fibre, are very accurate, very small, and it just, from 5 yards away looks like a standard sports or sports touring helmet. Now, I'm not saying that this is a noisy helmet by any means, and I always ride with earplugs anyway. On the Tiger with the screen, I found this to be noisier. I rode it on a naked bike and found it to be much better. And again, a lot of that can be down to your riding position and also the clothes that you wear. I tended to find that the noise was generated from the wind passing underneath the helmet. So that's probably something to do with the setup that I had, because if I pushed my chin down into my chest, it became almost silent. So the element of noise, I think, is going to be dependent on your bike and how you ride and your position and your clothing. So it's going to be different for anyone, but in my experience, I found the noise to be perfectly acceptable. One of the other gripes that I have is this cover that goes over the venturi. So there is a little bit of a hole. It's always active, but you've got a couple of levels that you can open that. So it kind of acts as a stabilizing spoiler for the helmet. A couple of things with this: it does feel like a little bit of a cheap, flimsy piece of plastic, although to be fair, I've not had any issues with it breaking or coming off or anything like that, and I guess they want to keep the weight down. But the main bugbear is, if you're wearing gloves and you're riding, that's quite difficult to get your finger under there to open that up. So if you start your journey and you open it up before you go, that's fine. If you want to open it whilst you're riding, you can find yourself, or I certainly found myself, fumbling around a little bit trying to get a finger or a thumb underneath that to pull it up. I know it's only a very small gripe, but there's very little to actually gripe about with this helmet. There's not much more I can actually say about the helmet. The positives are it's lightweight, it's got good vision, it's got good ventilation, it's comfortable, and it looks pretty fantastic as well. And the negatives, well, that rear diffuser is a little bit fiddly, again a minor thing. And also, because of its design, because it's designed to look more like a sports touring helmet, there isn't as much room in the chin bar as there are with some other helmets. Now, I didn't really have a problem with it. My chin wasn't touching the chin bar, but it was obviously quite close. Not as roomy as some of the others I've tried, but then it doesn't look elongated and bulky at the front. There it is. So if you're looking for a helmet and you're torn between a sports touring helmet and a flip front, perhaps the AGV Sportmodular is the one for you. You've got the practicality of the flip front, but when you put that visor down, you've also got the looks of a sports touring helmet. Retail prices change all the time and vary from country to country, so I'll put the current retail price on the bottom here for you here in the UK. In terms of fitting, I'm a large in pretty much every helmet that I try, and no exception with this. Probably suits a rounder head more than a longer oval head. I'm kind of an intermediate oval, but I have no problems with it. I've been wearing this for day-long rides and I've had no issues with it, and actually because of the light weight, I found it to be a really comfortable helmet to wear. I hope you found the review useful. I've tried to get as much detail in as short as time as possible. If I've missed anything or if you've got any questions, you know where to ask. And all that leaves me to say is thanks again to AGV for letting me get my hands on one of these to test. Really appreciate that. And until next time, thanks for watching. Take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.